What's up, everybody? This is Master Ian Gamer, and I am here today to finally, at long last, talk about the Overwatch Avatar Collab. Holy moly! I've been waiting to talk about this so much. Yes, let's go. It's finally time. Finally time we can actually talk about it. We can actually talk about all the skins. Okay. First of all, how are you all doing here today? Hello, everybody in chat. I hope you're all having a lovely one. Double Edge, Kiriko, Kenobi1, Peter, Mustache, Tinte, Lexus. We got a bunch of people here. I don't know if I'll read through everyone. BT23, good to see you as well. Because we have so much to talk about. This is exciting. Okay. I'm gonna move myself over here. Well, before I move myself too much, don't get too distracted by the video in the background. That's gonna be there. But in celebration of the new collab and all the exciting stuff, we have a little not quite a companion perhaps, but a little someone who will be joining us starting today. Say hello, everyone, to Shoulder Appa. He'll be hanging out. Woo! Little Shoulder Appa will be joining us here today, making sure that we're all safe and sound, making sure none of us don't get up to any trouble or nothing. He'll just be hanging out there. Yep, indeed. And on a similar note, don't tell her I told you all this just yet, but I heard our very own Chibi Kiriko might be working on a very special little cosplay in celebration of this event. However, it sounds like it's not quite ready yet, so she won't be joining us here today, but maybe look forward to her, well, you know, showing it off in the near future. Just a little something to get excited for, should we say. But we will be joined by Appa here today. And now, on this note, I suppose, we can go ahead and start to talk about the trailer. The trailer! Okay, how do we even want to do this? Because, like, there's so much to break down here. There's so much. I'll try to make this as, like, big as I think I reasonably can. I think this is probably good. Here, I can probably scoop myself a bit. There we go. Alright, make this extra big so everybody can see it. And it should be muted. It looks like it is muted. If it's blaring music and you haven't heard a thing I've said today, then, well, that sucks. Let me know, I guess. Okay. Let's start over. Baby steps. Proceed like an actual professional here. How about that? All right. So we get the big kaboom of everybody showing up. There they all are. All 6 skins. 6. We haven't seen a collab with 6 skins since Le Seraphim. And yeah, this is a big one. 6 skins, one of which is free to unlock. I am so glad about that. And first up, I guess we can talk a bit about Aang. I think we get a good shot of him in just a second. We get them all going through, playing tag together. And where's our good Aang shot? That's not going to be a good Aang shot. That's not going to be a good Aang shot. There aren't any good Aang shots in this one, now that I'm thinking about it. We pause it like there. This will have to do. This will have to do for Zenyatta. All right. Did Sokka dirty? Oh, we'll get to that. Yeah, so Zenyatta is a skin. It's a thing, all right. In fact, here, actually, while I'm having this, I can bring up... let me see. Is this one? Okay, this is what we're going to want to go with. Let me just reorder this. Because we do also have the images from the the blog that sure shows them off a little better. So we can see Aang Yada there. Aang Yada, everybody. Aang Yada. Oh, that's a good point. We do get a better shot at the very end of the video. Yeah, that's probably like... This is going to be very clunky, but you got to deal with it. There we go. Yeah, Aang Yada. Aang Yada. Interesting execution of him. He's like permanently in the Avatar state, it would seem. I would have assumed he would be like normal, and then Transcendence would be the Avatar state, since Transcendence canonically basically is the Avatar state. Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle on this skin. It looks so cursed, but it's so funny, and at the same time, Aang fits Zen as a character so well that I can't dislike it. Like, it's goofy as hell. I love it. It is amazing. Also, he gets, at the very least, a little airbending victory pose, which we see him doing at the end here, where he's holding the little air ball. I'm hoping he gets like an air scooter emote, or at least like maybe like a little like marble trick emote or something airbending emote wise, because a victory pose is nice. I would have preferred they go with the scooter or the marble over whatever he's doing here, which just looks like he's just doing normal airbending in his hands, which is a little disappointing if that's all he gets. I am hoping he gets an emote and or a highlight intro in addition to this. Overall, the outfit is pretty simple, but then again, Aang's outfit is pretty simple. It's basically just Omnic Aang, which... Yeah, I think it looks about as good as you could expect it to. Kill Zen and the cycle is broken. You're right. If he's permanently in the Avatar state, yeah. Playing with his air balls, he most certainly is. Yeah. I don't know. What more is there to say about Aang Yada? I feel like he's so straightforward. He's so straightforward here that it's like you get what you see, you know? Okay. I think we're gonna move on then to... Let me resize this so it's more reasonable. And then we can find next up who will be Venture Toph. I think we get a better shot in just a second here. That's the one I was looking for. That is the shot I was looking for. This shot captures the Venture skin so well. That is the face of every Venture main when they saw this skin. What the hell is that? Okay, let's nab another picture here. Let's see, where is it? There it is. And then we can... There we go. Okay. Yeah. In fact, you know what? I feel like this image is probably just good enough. They'll just bring up this. Yeah, there's Venture Toph. I think it looks a bit better than the leaked image. I think it looks a bit better. Hello, Fat Dabs. Welcome. This skin, I feel like, is saved by the little details in it. The overall skin itself, I think on the grand scale, overall, this is a poor execution of a Toph skin. Even in terms of a Venture Toph skin, I think this one came out kind of clunky. It's probably my least favorite of all the skins. Maybe not. Maybe not. It's either this one or Katara are my least favorite. But this one I think is probably worse because this is like a proper legendary they put full effort into. Full effort and, you know, quotes, because who knows how much effort they actually put in. But I don't know, because there's a lot of little details I love. So what do I love about this? Okay, I love that Momo is just hanging out in the backpack. That is great. Momo in the backpack, working Momo in there. And it's so funny because you can actually see Momo's ear in the leaked image. I won't show off the leaked image here because there could still be some weird stuff surrounding it. But you could actually see Momo's ear in that leaked image. And I didn't see anybody bring it up. Nobody in all the discussions I saw about the leaked skins did I ever see anyone acknowledge that Momo was in Venture's backpack. And I was like, why is nobody talking about this? And now we can see definitively, clearly, officially, yes, Momo is a part of the skin. So I love that. I love the earthbending belt hanging off the back, because Venture's backpack normally always has that little dangling bit that I think is like a rock pick normally. And now it's the belt, which is a perfect little reference. The weapon, you can't see it great in this shot here. Let me... Here, we'll try to find it in the actual video, because I know there's a good shot in a bit that comes up. Not quite there, I don't think. Maybe that was it. We do get another couple. Oh, here. Get rid of that for you guys. I don't think we get like a great shot. We saw it really well in the leaked image. Okay, we can kind of see it here. The drill is a badger mole, which is such a cool and clever way of designing the drill. Because, yeah, what do you do with the drill? Like, Toph doesn't use a drill. She just uses her hands and feet. Like, so what do you do for, like, a weapon she wields? Oh, they turned it into a badger mole. That's so cool. That's such a clever little way of doing that. And, yes, presumably they're blind. So it's the little details about the Venture skin that make me actually still really like it. It's Momo, it's the belt, it's the badger mole drill, when overall the skin itself, I think, is poorly executed. The little details save it, but overall it's still poorly executed. And there's a really annoying detail that I mentioned in my video. Let me bring this back here, because this is actually a great shot to compare the two. So in the trailer, in the animated trailer, which we can see on the right over here, look at Venture's head. That is Toph's like headband, like tiara, headdress, whatever it's supposed to be called. Like, that's it. Like, in the trailer, that is straight up Toph's headpiece right there. It's perfect. It's a perfect representation of what the headgear would look like. Then look at the in-game render. What's different? It's literally just Venture's goggles. Venture's goggles recolored to replicate the headgear, with, granted, the little like pom-pom things on the side. They do have those. But why didn't they just do the proper headgear? Why did they just go with Venture's base goggles? Like, what? Like, what? Why? Like, that is just straight up laziness. There is no other explanation or excuse for that. It's literally in the trailer, and it's not in the in-game model. Why? Why would they do that? That's so annoying. It's disappointing, to say the least, that they would execute it that way. But still overall, I like the skin. Considering Venture has no other skins, I'm definitely going to be using this skin when it comes out. And I think you'd be hard-pressed to ever release a skin for Venture that I would replace this with. Because Toph was one of my favorite. Well, Toph was my favorite character when I first watched the series. She's still one of my favorite characters all these years later, even though I'm more of a Zuko fan now. But like, yeah, it's just overall, I love that they gave Venture a Toph skin. It is amazing. It is perfect. But it's not perfect, unfortunately. Because they whiffed too many details. They hit so many little important things on the head and whiffed so many other details. It's tragic. It is tragic. But, yeah. Moving on, then. Let's get this back to a normal size, because next up, we have my second favorite skin in the collab. Let's see. Okay, so get this up there. And Appa Orisa. Appa Orisa. Oh. Is trying to think. I'll probably just go to the end here because we have the really good image of her there. There we go. There we go. And we also get a look at the glider. Turning her javelin into the glider is such a cool detail. Oh my god. Like, there's so much amazing little detail in these skins. There we go. There's such great little detail in these skins that, like, I can't help but love them, you know? Like, does the overall execution of a lot of these skins look weird? Yes. But there's so many little details that I think honestly just work so well. Here, let me bring... bring her there. So you get a couple shots of her. Yeah, like, this is great. I think this might be the best executed skin in the entire collab. I think of the legendary skins, this is the best executed skin. Of the legendary skins, I think this is the best executed. Because it plays really heavily into just how goofy of a character. Like, I guess maybe not, I wouldn't say Appa's necessarily goofy, but like, they clearly leaned into a goofy angle with it, with like the tongue sticking out, the way they did the eyes. Like, clearly this is supposed to be a goofy comedic depiction of Appa by Orisa, and it works. It lands so hard. Like, I love it. I love it. It's so good. I'm trying to think if there's other details to like note about it. Like, I don't know how much more there is to say. There's kind of like a saddle on her back with like the we don't really get a good shot. You can kind of see it in the render image. I'm pretty sure her supercharger, which is being held in like her saddle, is supposed to be just like their camping gear that on at least a couple occasions in the series they like deliberately lose or get sort of thrown around or something. Because I remember Sokka specifically has like a sleeping bag that there's like a joke with at one point. And I'm pretty sure that's what that's supposed to be in her saddle on her back. That's what the supercharger is, which again is like the amount of little like attention to detail in these is amazing. The little references they're working in is amazing. I love it. Oh, it's so good. Yes, and the glider for the javelin is like, holy moly, like that's such a good idea. Making, because like, okay, like technically Aang should be the one with the glider, but it's Appa, so you know, Appa and Aang together, and then you know, it's a long stick-shaped thing, and make it the glider. It's genius. It's genius. I love it. It's so good. All right, and let's see. Next up, is there anything else to say about Appa though before we move on? I think it's just so straight, like clean cut with her. Like, this is a great skin. This is phenomenal. This is one I'm definitely going to be using a lot. Let's see. Ooh. Okay. So next up, if we want to go by the video, would be Would be Suki. I'm gonna save Suki for last, and you'll see why. I guess that's maybe a good one to go with for Katara.
Too early for flapjacks.
Yeah, let's let's use this frame here, and then I'll nab the still image. Okay. Let me space these. Okay. There is a Katara skin. This is a Katara skin for May. This is one of the main reasons I didn't talk about the collab leaks. Because as soon as I saw those leaks, I had an extremely strong suspicion that we weren't seeing the whole picture. And I didn't want to jump on board any sort of negative hype train before we had a clear picture of it. Because the other thing is, as you can probably tell and or already know, I adore Avatar the Last Airbender. It is my favorite animated series of all time. The fact it is getting a collab with Overwatch at all is amazing. It is arguably the best collab for me personally that Overwatch could ever do. Ever. Which is why I didn't want to jump on board with the hate train with the leaks. Also, there's the fact that, like, collabs are very interesting. Collabs are messy when it comes to, like, leaks and stuff, because there was also, like, a legitimate chance I would get, like, a takedown notice from Blizzard if I talked about it, just given the nature of how collabs work. So I didn't want to mess with that either. But mainly, I wanted to see whether or not there would actually be a Katara skin, and there is. And it goes to May. And the other one who could have gotten it would have been Symmetra. I'm a little surprised they didn't do Symmetra, but, like, May is, like, the other one that's, like, of course. And to their credit, what we are looking at here is only an epic skin. It's her base Overwatch 2 model. Even the gun isn't changed at all. It's only retextured. And they did it, even with it only being an epic, they did a really, really good job of making it look like Katara. So on that page, I'm like, yes, giving it to May was the right choice. I think it was the right choice. Of course, the ice as well with waterbending, like, of course. I do kind of wish we could see a legendary version of this skin. I would like to see what would happen if, like, the gun specifically was a bit more unique in its detailing. But it works. This 100% reads as Katara. And on top of it, it's a free skin. It's a free skin that you get from just playing the event. Now, we don't know the exact, like, challenges or how it's going to work. It's probably just going to be play X number of matches, basically, and then you unlock the skin. But yes, 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 there is a Katara skin. And also, to explain why Katara wasn't in the original leak, that leaked image was splash art from the shop bundle that'll have all the skins. Which is why Katara wasn't in there, because she's not in the shop. She's a free challenge skin. Which is exactly what I had suspected as soon as I saw that leak. I was like, there's no way they didn't add Katara. There's no way they didn't add Katara. Like, I know the whole haha give Kiriko a skin every time thing, but there is no way they wouldn't add Katara. And they added Katara. So look, yeah, here we go. It's pretty great. The skin itself, yeah, I think looks good. I will say, I think this is probably my least favorite skin. I still love it, but it's probably my least favorite for a few reasons. One, I don't play May. Two, Katara was probably my least favorite out of, like, the main cast of characters in Avatar itself. Not that I don't like Katara as a character, but personally, she's probably my least favorite out of the group. And also it's just an epic skin, so, like, the amount of detail in it is like, it's good, but, like, nothing outstanding. Is there anything else to say? I kind of wish Snowball had a more unique design as well. It looks like Snowball is just going to be base design as always, because, you know, of course it will be. It's an epic skin. But I think they did a good job. I think they did a good job with what they had to work with here, with it just being an epic. And that'll take us then on to... That's the... Hide that. Resize this. And then we can go to... Zuko Genji. Do we have a better shot of him? There might be. Let me...
That's rough, buddy.
Thanks, Zuko. Try to... You know what? I think we'll just go with that close-up one we had here, and then we can bring up the image of him here. Where did that go? Where did that go? Zuko. Zuko's... There you are, Zuko. All right. Ignore Venture down in the bottom. Pretend they're not there. Just look at the Zuko. Zuko Genji. I wasn't sure how Zuko Genji was gonna land. I was a bit... I think Genji is the best choice just on like a character level. There's like the scarred body, the swords, the overall just like vibe of the character is very much like the same between Zuko and Genji. The whole like switching sides, spoilers if you haven't seen Avatar. But at the same time, it didn't feel quite right, you know? It didn't feel like it quite hit how it should have. So I was like, okay, it is going to Genji when it got leaked. And I didn't know quite how to feel about it. But at this point, I think I've sort of settled on the idea that, like, yeah, this was the right decision. Now, the execution of this skin, I'm still a little on the fence about. They leaned into the idea of Zuko being a cyborg, which I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how to feel about that. I expected them to just downplay the cybernetics and just make him like any of his young Genji skins where he's still all human and not cybernetic at all. But no, they leaned into the cyborg aspect, especially with his face. Like his eye is literally a cybernetic eye. And you can still see like the scar from where he was burned around the eye, but like he's a cyborg. He's cyborg Zuko. And I don't know how I feel about that. It's certainly an interesting direction to take, and I'm glad they leaned fully into it upon evidently deciding to take that direction. But I am really curious what a different version of him would look like, you know? What would it have looked like if they'd leaned into the human side instead of the cyborg side? Like, what would that version of the skin look like? Would it not read enough as Genji? Is that why they didn't want to do it? I don't know. I think this is the skin which I'm still the most undecided on in terms of how I feel about it. I definitely like it. I'm so glad they went with the season 3 version of Zuko in terms of like his hair and everything because, well, let's be honest, that's objectively the best version of Zuko. Aesthetically, at least. Yeah, I don't know. What do you all think about the whole cyborg direction? Cyborg design is an odd choice. It is kind of odd. I mean, I don't think it's bad. I definitely don't want to say it's bad. It's just a choice. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot. But it just doesn't quite hit right for me. Also, I never play Genji, so that's a bit unfortunate. I won't get to play Zuko because I can't play Genji for the life of me. Which is unfortunate, but, you know, so it goes. And that then takes us on to the last skin we need to talk about. Oh, what'll be the best image to look at here? There's one I might pause on, but I wonder if there's one around here that would work better. That's a pretty good shot. We could always go with this. You know what? Let's go with this. Let's go with this. We're going to go with this one for the shot here. Oh, I didn't realize it was cut off there. There we go. We're going to go with this. Oh, shippers, eat your heart out. All right, let's go to... There she is. There she is. There we go. This is my favorite skin in the collab for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost, it is Kiriko. So, like, of course, I'm going to be biased on that front. I think it is the best executed skin on top of that. Like, this straight up looks like Suki, but is also very distinctly Kiriko. Like, and on top of all that, it is only an epic skin. Like the Katara skin, it is only an epic skin. You can tell by the torso, the like skirt parts, which you can't really see that well. It's easier to see in the leaked image, but I of course won't be showing that off here. Yeah, this is only an epic skin, but I think this is the best executed skin. Kiriko fits Suki so unbelievably well, too, on top of that. Like, this is one of those skins where it's like, before the Avatar collab had ever been announced as a thing, I was like, wow, Kiriko would work so well if they ever did a Suki skin in an Avatar collab. But I never thought that would happen, because why would they add Suki? She's not a major character. Like, people like to group her into Team Avatar. I don't officially consider her part of Team Avatar. I don't think she serves an important enough role in Team Avatar to actually be part of it. But, like, yeah, they did it. Because of course they did. Because of course they're going to give Kiriko a skin. Beyond that, this is like, for me personally, this is like the best skin they could have added. Because go back in time many years, back to the early days, when I was but a young Omnic, when I was but a little robot boy, first exploring the world, unsure of what I was or where I was going. Back when I watched Avatar the Last Airbender, Avatar the Last Airbender for the very first time, way back in ye old days, when I was but a lad. I may or may not have had a bit of a thing for Suki. So, for me personally, to come back all these years later and see Kiriko get a Suki skin, it feels like the skin was made for me. It's like a circle 15 years in the making has just come closed. I feel like this skin was made for me, and I'm like, no, don't sus. It's not sus. We were all at one point a young lad first seeing what things were in the world. It was a time. It was a while ago. It was an eternity ago. But for it to all come around full circle for me like this is like, wow, they actually did it. They actually did it. Like, I don't think they possibly could add a skin that would feel more personally catered to me than Suki Kiriko. It just works for Kiriko so well. It works for me so well. And it's only an epic skin. It's only an epic skin. Like, that's the other thing. Like, they're going to charge legendary price for this, by the way. Don't you doubt that. Don't you doubt that. Blind. Hey, now, I know y'all are having fun with the, Avatar redeems. They're going to charge legendary price for this. I guarantee it. And I'll pay it. I'll pay it gladly. Yeah, I mean, she's confirmed epic in terms of like the design of the skin. So, yeah. They're going to charge legendary prices, though. I promise you that. So yeah, this is my favorite skin in the collab, bar none. Might be one of my favorite skins in the game too. Period. Yeah, this is a big deal for me. Y'all don't even understand just how heavily I was floored when I saw the leak and saw that Kiriko was getting a Suki skin. Like, I like there's no other skin that could possibly add that would like equate that in any significant way. But yeah, at that point, let's talk about, let's find like a group image shot again. We can hide that. Get the big shot of them all here again. There we go. Let's talk about, we talked a lot about what is here. Now let's talk about what's not here. Sokka. Sokka, my man. How they keep doing you dirty. Oh, if it wasn't bad enough that he wasn't a bender, he gets shafted from every Avatar collab. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. He was shafted from the Fortnite Avatar collab. He was shafted from the Overwatch Avatar collab. My man can't catch a break. Oh, it sucks. It sucks. I really wish there was a Sokka skin. And it hurts extra deep because literally Suki got a skin. Suki, who's infinitely less important to the grand story than Sokka is. Suki, who only exists as a character as basically an extension of Sokka. Suki got into the game and Sokka didn't. Oh my god, like I still love the collab, and like I'm not gonna be upset about it, but like it's so funny how he just gets utterly shafted like this. My man, they couldn't have given him anything. Not even a Hanzo skin. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Suki, where's your boyfriend? You only exist because of him. Like, what? Oh. It is disappointing. It is disappointing that there's no Sokka skin. But, I mean, this is already a stacked collab. 6 skins. Granted, 2 of them are effectively epic skins, which is technically more than the 1 epic skin we saw for the Seraphim collab. So, on like an overall content front, this collab still falls behind with Seraphim, which to date is the biggest collab they've done in terms of amount of content added. But man, I would have loved if we could have gotten a Sokka skin. I don't know who would have gone to. Maybe Hanzo. Like, there's a few different ones they probably could have done, but like, I would have loved a Sokka skin. Expected at least the cabbage merchant. Well, I'm curious to see what else is in here, because we get that victory pose for Zenyatta at the end. I'm willing to bet there's going to be other emotes and stuff, too. I mean, historically, most collabs will have at least like a victory pose or an emote or a highlight intro for each character, in addition to the skin. I am really excited to see what Suki's ends up being, personally. The one that might not have that would be Katara, because she's going to be the challenge skin. So I don't know if there's going to be like anything for her there. But Avatar Wave 2, Sokka, Iroh, Azula. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, those would be the other 2 that like after Sokka. I could have seen them adding Azula and Iroh. Iroh, I feel like he could have worked for a few. Azula. See, the interesting thing is, if I had to bet money on it, I would have bet that Kiriko would have gotten an Azula skin over a Suki skin. Like, Suki fits Kiriko way better as a character, but Azula is way more important to the story, is way more popular of a character, and also, like, can actually stand on her own without just being the extension of another character, the way Suki is. So, I'm kind of surprised they didn't just go with Azula Kiriko. But I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. I am not complaining in the least. I am so glad they gave it to Suki instead. As I said, this collab was made for me. Torb, Iroh. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking like Reinhardt, Torbjorn. I feel like Malga, because he has the fire aspect. But like personality-wise, Malga and Iroh are completely different, so I don't think that would work. The skins we do get. The skins we do get. I do also like the fact that all 6 skins are Team Avatar. There's no villains, there's no antagonists here, save for Zuko, but, you know, they went with, like, Season 3 Zuko, so he's a protagonist. He's a good guy. He was always a protagonist. But he's part of the team. Even Suki, by extension, is part of the team. Yeah, it's just Team Avatar. Also, on top of that, once again, they've done the thing where they added the skins in the exact distribution of a team comp. 1 tank skin, 2 support skins, and 3 damage skins, admittedly, but still, like, you can make a full team avatar. A full team avatar. You would just have to cut one of the DPS because, you know, there'd only be 2, not 3. So yeah, that's it. What is tag? That's what they're playing in the short. Here, we can just like let it play at this point. Yeah, they're all playing tag, which I think is actually a great way to show it off because it shows off all the characters. It shows them using their abilities, not only like hero type abilities, but also the abilities they have in universe as benders and whatnot. It shows off the personalities. It's playful, which is a great way of, you know, encapsulating the fact that, like, yes, these are all like teenagers in the show that we see here. Yeah, it's pretty great. Cactus juice meta. If there by some sheer coincidence ends up being a team comp that consists of these characters working together as like a meta team, it has to be called the Cactus Juice meta. It's got to be Cactus Juice meta. Allows them to show skins in action while making sense. Yep, and it's done in a style that is reminiscent of the actual series. It's not the exact same art style. It's not as anime as the original Avatar art style is, but like it looks good enough. And then they all eat cabbages by the fire, I guess. Ah, I cannot wait for this collab. I cannot wait for this collab. What element would I be? That's a good question. I've always debated. I've never been able to settle on whether I would prefer earth or air. I'm going to read through some of your comments now that I've gotten through my my gushing, should we say. First cardboard skins, now the Avatar skins. Good thing you're done with Christmas shopping. Uh-huh. Sokka, I was forgotten in 2 collabs. That's rough, buddy. I feel like I'm more of a metal bender. Does that mean I could bend myself? I feel like you can't gender bend Sokka. Yeah, I think he would be an extremely difficult one to justify gender bending because, like, that's a very important part of his character. The whole, like, being a man type thing. Like, that's, like, the major through line of his whole character arc is just, like, becoming a man, becoming a leader, being the goofy guy that, like, oh, haha, you know, I'm a jokester, I'm not really that great at fighting, and then becoming, like, a legitimate warrior and leader in the end. That's his whole thing. I'm really curious to see what they do with the voice lines, too, because there's so many. Like, Venture could get, like, a Melon Lord line. They could get, like, a Twinkle Toes line. There's Venture specifically with Toph. Toph has a lot of good quotes they could go with. Oh, if they give Genji a "That's rough, buddy" line, they honestly might. That is one of the biggest memes from the show. Hope they don't sound as soulless as the MHA ones. Yeah, I agree. Oh my god, Suki Kiriko looks so good. I cannot believe how well that works as a skin. It is phenomenal. I'm curious to get a better look at her kunai and stuff. I don't know if they're going to actually change it, given as it's just an epic skin. Like, we saw the Ofuda in the leak, and it looks like it's just being retextured. It doesn't have, like, a unique model or anything for the healing Ofuda, which is fine. I mean, you barely see it. But I kind of hope the kunai have their own model. Like, if they model the kunai to look like a fan, that's perfect. Like, that's exactly what they need to do. I'm just not sure whether or not they will, is the thing. Another Kiriko collab skin? I don't care. You could literally just delete every other Kiriko collab skin right now and I wouldn't care. This is the only Kiriko collab skin I need. Can reenact the sad scene with Toph and Aang by letting your Orisa die? Excuse me? Really mad if they don't add sound effects or new voice lines. Yeah, I really hope there are sound effects too. Like, I hope they have, like, really punchy, like, earthbending sounds for Venture. I hope Zenyatta has airbending sounds. Genji's gonna need to have fire sounds. I don't know what they would do for Mei, because, like, she's already ice-themed. And then Suki, I don't think would necessarily have anything special. Appa maybe could have something. Throwing closed fans would be tight. Exactly. If they remodel the kunais to look like fans, like, that's perfect. Like, that is exactly what they need to do. And, like, they've shown that they're willing to do that level of small detail for the other skins. I just don't know if they're going to do it for Kiriko because it's an epic skin. Orisa, yip yip. Yeah, I don't know if they'll do a yip yip line, because, like, it would make sense for... I mean, it would only make sense in relation to Appa as Orisa. But, like, Appa doesn't say yip yip. People say yip yip to Appa. So, like, it wouldn't make sense for Orisa to say yip yip. You'd need to have, like, Zenyatta saying it to her. If Zen didn't already have a skin, you would love a Cabbage Merchant skin. I understand the Cabbage Merchant meme and how funny it would be to give someone a skin for that, but, like, if there was a Cabbage Merchant skin before there was a Zuko skin, an Azula skin, an Iroh skin, I think I would be upset. Like, okay, it's one thing if they have, like, a meme. It's one thing if they have, like, a voice line or, like, an emote that references the whole Cabbage meme. But, like, to give an actual skin to the Cabbage Merchant over any of those other characters, That would be a bit much. That would be a bit much. Worried about Zen's voice lines since he doesn't have the same energy Aang does. I mean, Aang can be pretty somber and, you know, I feel like, yes, Zenyatta doesn't have that, like, child energy that Aang does. But Aang can also be very, like, you know, serious. Aang can behave in a way that's reminiscent of, like, Zenyatta's behavior. So I don't think it'd be too out of character if they just focused on a voice line that sort of captured that. An emote, one of the characters kicking a cabbage far and hearing a disembodied voice say, "My cabbages." I'm half expecting a random hero who's not actually going to get a skin, someone random like Hanzo or like Torbjorn, to just get a "My cabbages" voice line, and that's all they get for the collab. Because then you could use it in relation to the characters who actually got the skins. "My cabbages." Like, I could totally hear Torb saying that. Like, maybe if, like, an Avatar character destroys his turret, he would say "My cabbages." That would be, I think, the best way to do it, but I don't expect them to do something like that. It's been a long time since they've had a skin that, like, has a voice line that reacts to a specific skin being used by another person. They have technically done it before, but it's been a long time, so I'm not expecting them to do that here. I mean, the way Torb already says "my turret" is almost reminiscent of "my cabbages." Just turret instead of cabbages. Well, what do y'all think? What is everybody's thoughts at this point? Are y'all a fan of the collab? How are you feeling now that we've actually gotten to look at it? Excited for the collab? It's weird. It's weird because, like, I've been realizing, and, like, having, like, a whole week knowing about the leaked images and not being able to talk about them and just, like, reflecting on it. This is probably the most, like, this is the most personal collab we will ever see in Overwatch for me. Never mind the fact that it's Avatar, but that Kiriko is getting a Suki skin on top of that. Like, I don't think it is possible for them to do a collab after this that will ever feel as, like, personally catered to me as much as this collab is. Like, this is the peak collab for me. Even My Hero Academia, like, didn't hit the same stride because Avatar is just better. Maybe if they found a way to shoehorn a Mina skin into a future second wave of My Hero, maybe then. But even then, it would be a Diva skin, not a Kiriko skin, so, like, I don't think it would land the same. This is it. This is the best collab I'll ever see. And you know what? Better to have it happen than to never happen at all, you know? That look on Venture's face there. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm really curious to see how many people actually end up buying and using these skins. I'm really curious. I'm willing to bet the Suki skin's going to sell well, because of course it will. It's Kiriko. Katara, everybody's going to get it for free. But the other ones, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how well the other ones are going to do. I think Zuko Genji is probably going to do pretty well. But I don't know about Aang and Appa. I don't know how well those ones are going to sell. I think out of the shop skins, probably Zuko and Suki are going to be the best sellers. Venture will sell well because it's the first skin. Yes. Yes, but at the same time, I think a lot of people don't like the skin. And also how many people actually play Venture. Or actually care about Venture skins, I think is the thing. Because we saw a lot of people getting the Iravity Juno skin, but like that was a really good skin, and Iravity is a really popular character, and Juno is a really popular character. Granted, Toph is a very popular character too, so like maybe a lot of people will get the Venture skin. I don't know. I'm curious about that one. I'm really curious to see how many people get the Toph Venture skin. Ice Cream Venture, bah, nobody cares about that. It was an epic. Nobody cares. There's Princess Yue Juno. That would actually be a really good one. Maybe in the next wave, if there ever is one. Think Aang will sell? I don't know. I mean, I think his is one of the weird skins. The Zenyatta Aang skin. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. No Sigma Toph. I'm glad they didn't give Toph to Sigma. You happy to play as Appa? Oh, I cannot wait to play as Appa. I cannot wait to play as Appa. And yeah, it wasn't during the Game Awards. That's a good point. Which I am so glad it wasn't, because that means I had the opportunity to do a video and talk about it and do all this before the Game Awards, as opposed to during the Game Awards. Because, oh my god, could you imagine me trying to gush as much as I have over the past hour during the Game Awards? That'll be, yeesh. But speaking of the Game Awards, I will be streaming the Game Awards, and that'll be starting in only a couple hours. So I'm probably going to have to wrap up this video very shortly, because I haven't eaten yet today. So I got to do that and get some other things taken care of before we start on the Game Awards stream, which that'll be exciting. I hope to see you all back here in just a couple hours for that. But yeah, any final thoughts, everybody? Any last minute thoughts, hopes, dreams, aspirations? New Valve game. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens, whether Valve actually has something to show or not. Katara is your favorite? Fair enough. A lot of people really like Katara. I never was big into Katara. She seemed too, she's too motherly, you know? Wasn't a fan of that. Just had to include Kiriko. I would have it no other way. I don't know why Blizzard loves me so much. But I have a hunch that this is where it ends. I think they've peaked with this collab. And whatever sort of weird bias they have toward making things that cater to me, I have a strong hunch it'll end next collab. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but they literally cannot top this one, so... Yeah. Yeah, that'll be it. That'll be it. And on that note, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I think I'm going to have to wrap it up here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in for this stream. I've been waiting a week to say all this, and I had so much more based on how much more we got to see in the actual trailer, so... Yeah, 2024, the year of the MIG collabs. Seriously, though. Because Bebop was this year, right? Yeah, that was right at the start. And then we got MHA, Transformers. Good lord, this was the year of the MIG collabs, wasn't it? Oh. Well, either way, I'll be wrapping it up there. I hope to see you all back in a couple hours for the Game Awards stream. I will be joined by Astrobiologist as well. He'll be tuning in with us to help react to stuff. And other than that, yeah, look forward to me actually playing this Avatar collab when the day comes. it'll be a nice one. And our very own little chibi Kiriko might have a little thing to show off as well once the collab is actually in game. So look forward to that too. But otherwise, thank you all for tuning in. See you in a couple hours. I'm excited for this collab. I couldn't be happier. Bye, everybody. Goodbye.